Hello guys, welcome to Code Bandit. In the previous two videos, we have seen how to implement template form and reactive form. In this video, we'll see the implementation of validations for reactive form. Now, as far as the template form is considered, the implementation of validations is quite easy. You can follow the traditional HTML method. But if you have a look at reactive form, now the reactive form is constructed using form builder and form group module, whereas it also consists of a model in the class and the same model is binded in the form within the HTML. So that is the reason why we have to implement the validations using the Angular approach. So let's see what are the things that are to be done to implement this validations. The first and the very important part is to include the validator. Guys, if you have seen the previous video, that is the part 8, we have already done this. So we just need to include the validator. So this is the very important part. And the second thing that we are going to see is how to show the messages for improper input from the user. So this is how the validation are to be done. Now let's see it in the code. Guys, this project is already made in part 8. So those who have not seen part 8, I will request you to please see part 8 first and then move towards this video. So let's continue with the implementation. Here we need to include the validator. And then where we have declared the element, you need to put a square bracket. Now for first element, we will apply a validation required. So just give a comma, then validator dot. Okay, so this is S, I think. Oh yeah, validators dot required. And for this we will give max length. Validators dot max length is 6. So guys, the validations are applied to the elements. Now let's write the message, error message. So for first name, we'll put a span and then we'll just put a style to it which says color should be red. Then we'll apply ngIf equal to if this element is not valid. So we'll take the form name dot controls and my control is first name, and if it is not valid, so the validation applied to first name is required. So we'll write first name required. I'll give a line break. Now we'll copy the same for last name. What we need to do is copy this last name here. And the validation applied is max length should be 6. So we'll change this message. Max length should be 6. You can give any message that you want. Now as we have seen that the validations are applied to each of the element, now let's debug it in the browser. I'll start the npm. We'll go to the root folder, one step back, reactive form. This is our root folder, and command to start the application is npm start. So guys, our validations are implemented successfully. You can see that the first validation is showed automatically, and the second validation where we have applied max length should be 6. So I just type it here. When it goes above 6, it will show a validation. Okay. So what to do for certain kind of things. First name required, because when the form loads by default, there is nothing in it, and the condition, if it is empty, if the condition is not satisfied, then the Angular will render that particular span. So for certain kind of elements, what we need to do is we need to include a property called touch. I'll copy this and we'll give here ampersand ampersand paste, and in place of valid we'll write touch. Valid, and if it is touched. Now what is the meaning of touch? We'll refresh it. Okay, so here we don't have to write this not symbol. Now the thing is, once you click in it, then it becomes touched, and when I come out, now it will be shown. If I write something, if I blur it, if I come out of the input, now nothing is shown. Even if I write it again, nothing is shown. If I go above 6 character, max length should be 6. If I go back, it's fine. Again similarly here. So whenever you write any required validation, make sure that you also include this one, touched, and do not write not symbol here. Now there is one more trick that can be done for button. Okay, see, we have got a validation, but still we can submit the form because this button is still active. So one thing that we can do to submit button is disabled equal to my form valid. Disable if my form is not valid. So guys, you can see that the save button is disabled. Now if I give the input here, now the button will be enabled because the form is valid. But if the form becomes invalid, suppose I will extend the max length, now you see the form is invalid, so you can't submit. The save button becomes disabled, and once I go back, it will become enabled. Similarly, if I backspace it, again the save button will be disabled, and if I write something, it will be enabled. So guys, this is how validations are to be implemented in reactive form. Guys, please do not forget to subscribe the channel. Keep watching, keep studying, keep enjoying. Thank you.